What is up, Whale family? This is Nytmare bringing you Hangtime, where we talk NBA Top Shot, the market, fantasy basketball, and all things hoops, sports, and hype. And I'm getting pretty hype once again for the NBA season to start, guys. It is fall. It is getting kind of crisp in the air where I am up here near Boston, which means we are approaching Halloween and the inevitable annual start to the NBA season in about a month. So exciting to see that we're coming up on it. And with that, probably some new cool stuff for NBA Top Shot and just some continued development of some of these really awesome superstars we've seen emerging over the past couple of years, like John Morant. Of course, I also want to see my man Tatum take the next step. So very excited to see the NBA season starting. And relative to NBA Top Shot, I'm sure they are excited to see it start as well. After this run up that we've seen that coincided with the market, with BTC and with ETH, we did have a fall as well that coincided with the greater market over the past week. So I think the total market cap pushed down approximately 7%, depending on where you're taking the measurement. But it is still elevated relative to where it was just a couple of weeks ago, right? So we've sustained some of that momentum. We don't like to see this downward slope, but it does coincide as well with what is a lull relative to NBA news. There's been a push for the WNBA product that they've put out. There's been kind of a slowdown with regards to challenges and marketing of that nature. So it makes sense that interest may fade a little bit while we're in this period. If we delve into some of the more specific metrics, and thank you to Feria and some of the people in our community for pointing out to me that I can put this into dark mode, which is a game changer for me. So thank you very much. But even their index is down about 100 points versus where it was 24 hours ago, and that's a continued slide. The interesting thing here for me to see is that we've had the lowest transaction volume and the lowest sales volume in about a month's time over the past couple of days. So between the NBA slowdown of the news cycle, because we're heading into the first month of the season, as well as the market kind of falling out and investor confidence for the greater crypto market. And whenever that happens, sometimes people that have bids out there or that are looking to buy NFTs, they pull back to try to be more conservative, or maybe they need to get liquid, right? Because they have to cover some margin calls or whatever it is. It's something that we often see, but that happening at the same time, we're in a significant lull as we are approaching the start of the season. This is what we're resulting in. But the good news is the relative market cap has continued to stay in this much healthier range. We were much lower prior to that run up at I want to say the second week of August. Now, the whale vault has fallen back a bit, back to about the $36 million range. Still not at that low 30s that we had seen, at kind of the bottom of the past couple of months. But, we were approaching, the high 30s, near 40 on moment ranks. So to see that means, there's some fluctuation, there's some chop going on right now for the market overall. If I look at evaluate market, which we took a look at to benchmark as well, we were near the $50 million, if not $50 million last week, and now we've slid back down to 44. So, again, I like to continue to benchmark in moment ranks just because we've done it for so long and just for stability's sake. But after broaching $50 million, we're back near 44. Still a very healthy level to be at, considering our investment was approximately 200K. Here's another look at the total market relative to, or rather the whale vault relative to where it's cycled over the past few days, as well as months. In March at its absolute peak, we're at about $50 million. We actually approached that not long ago. So I think we're in good position for this upcoming season and for Series 3 to release. I think that will only continue to drive interest into the legacy packs and the people that had held on to, Series 1 moments. So I think we will be in good shape and continue to have a good valuation for our vault holdings. I think that will definitely go up as more and more series are released to the market. And there's actually some, I don't want to say contentious, but there was some debate within the community relative to that, on whether or not, the release of more series and more moments would dilute the value of what we hold or whether that would contribute to it. And of course, people that were advocates for the traditional collector space are saying that, it will always retain its value as being the genesis, the very first iterations of the product and of some of those players and moments. And I agree with that thesis, but it was just interesting to see some people that are active collectors actually think differently, which I don't see often. So interested to hear the different perspectives that people have relative to this product. And you guys know I've taken a couple of moments. It's kind of just to rub my own nose in it that I didn't take action when I had the opportunity. And we're looking at these Series 1 moments. But here's a Jokic that I've been looking at when it was $48. It had peaked at about 155, 160, at least when I was benchmarking it, right? I have a little spreadsheet here where I've been looking at this periodically. Last week, it had slid to about 129. This week, it is at 125. Right. So a continued slight slide, but still maintaining some of that value. The other one that I've been looking at pretty consistently is this Halliburton. It was just over $400 at peak. I think 420 when I had looked at it. It was about 389 when we checked in last week. So this had a more significant drop than the Jokic, but still retaining a lot of that value and not going down to that. I believe it was $140 when I was looking at trying to scoop some of these moments, right? So still not at my, hey, absolute time to buy it level, nowhere near that, but I like to watch this as kind of a momentum oscillator a little bit and understand what's going on just anecdotally with some moments that I track. And so what's going on in the market is for on NBA Top Shop as relative to challenges and showcase opportunities here. We're continuing with the WNBA with the showcase challenge. You need 5 moments from Rookie of the Year winners, and you can scoop this very cool Joel Lloyd moment, the Gold Mamba. The deadline for this is tomorrow, September 14th. So if you are interested, you can go ahead and collect those moments. And interestingly, the WNBA continues to be one of the sets that are escalating in value even week after week when there's not a lot of significant activity. Obviously, the challenge is something spurring activity, but it's not like there's a huge catalyst pushing that. So it's great to see genuine interest in that product. Again, you have until tomorrow to try to scoop that, and you can get yourself a cool moment. I'm not sure exactly what the mint numbers were for the last reward on how many people had participated, but I will get that for us next time. I'm interested to see what percentage of the user base is taking part in this. One cool thing I did see on Twitter, I wanted to call out. This user Stone here had been looking at a juxtaposition of NBA Top Shot market cap for player moments versus their jersey sales, right? So if you're the number one jersey sale in the NBA, LeBron obviously, does that match the market cap for that moment? And it does in this case, but there are some anomalies, right? So like this Devin Booker here, market cap is minuscule compared to some of his peers, while he's in 6th place for jersey sales. And Tatum as well, right? You can see Tatum here. Obviously, I'm a big Tatum fan being in Boston, similar in vein. I think in addition to this, there's something to do with number of moments, because certainly there are some people that have a lot more circulation than others. If you want to check this out, check out this this Twitter user, B Stone. I believe there's 3 N's and 2 E's. I'll go ahead and credit that to Boston. It's probably nothing to do with Boston, but it's how I'll remember it. And he has some different iterations of this analysis, right? Including how the playoffs impacted these numbers. So I always find it cool to see some of the community looking at these interesting analyses. What else was going on over the past week? Quite honestly, probably the biggest news was us sniffing out and seeing Dr. Seuss Beta go live, right? So if you did not have an opportunity to sign up for the beta, You can go ahead to Seussibles.com. You can apply for the beta now. I had applied long ago and did not get an email, unfortunately, but a lot of people did. From our community, we were hearing from Ninja Turtles as well as others that Nine Lives Lounge, some people were given access there. So if you were a Cool Cat collector, you may have better early access. And likewise, Roham was on Twitter saying that if you apply to the beta and you have a significant collector's score, and you use a specific mode of communication, one of their Dapper email channels or whatnot, you were more likely to get in. And some people did indeed get in. And so, our friends over at the First Mint were fortunate enough to get in and showed us some details here. So $5 packs for 5 cards. There's stickers in it. There's various sets as well. And it's all housed within an app where you can chat and trade within. So it's kind of a self-contained ecosystem at this point, and whether or not that'll be interoperable with other systems within Flow or being able to be taken off, we don't know at this point. But everybody was excited to see this and looking forward to possibly getting involved as well. So if members of our community are in there, please let us know. We'd love to see some interesting polls that you may have had or any insights you could share with us with regards to Dr. Seuss. And I'd be interested to hear what everyone's ideal target would be, right? Like, what would be your LeBron if you were pulling Dr. Seuss? Dr. Seuss. Will it be Horton? Will it be Cat in the Hat? My high school yearbook used "Oh, the Places We Will Go." So if I got one of those, I'd probably smash my phone. But either way, it will be very interesting to see how the value paradigm shapes up for Dr. Seuss and kind of give us a precursor of some other launches to come with some of these different IPs. I'm not so sure Cat in the Hat. Cat in the Hat may be a bit too obvious, Spark Twain, but you could be right. I could be overthinking it like I often do. Another cool thing that I came across over the past few days, NASCAR related NFT launch happening today. So Speedway Motorsports, they're launching ahead of the Cup Series playoff race at Bristol coming up. They're going to release 10,000 commemorative ticket NFTs for the Bristol race, and they're available for free. And 500 of these will be random RNG golden tickets that have some different perks above and beyond, right? So this is pretty interesting that they're doing this. If you attend the race, you can also scan the QR code to get a unique NFT at the track. It seems very similar in vein to the NBA Top Shot Summer League product that they had put out. There's also going to be an auction for the Winner's Circle NFT. That'll be a coin I think you'll share with the driver, and then some real world race day experiences that you could have go into the pit or whatever on the day of the race and have some, unique opportunities to interact with NASCAR and with the product at these specific race courses. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, here's a visual on what I believe the free tickets look like. You can head over to Race Day NFT. If you can manage to sign in, because I was not able to, probably because of this high traffic warning, and everyone's trying to do it at this time. If you manage to sign in, there are still 7,000 of these commemorative ticket NFT packs free that are left. So you can go ahead and scoop those if you manage to do it. Interestingly, as I get this Wheel of Death, it tells me it's trying to prepare my Flow account. So maybe it literally is a product on Flow, and maybe it was templated and given to these guys via Top Shot and via Dapper Labs. It looks like we've seen some other things such as CNN that have really templated the NBA Top Shot model. So maybe the Summer League was a model for this, or they were working out some of the execution and nuances on how this can be leveraged in other properties. So interesting to see, as always. You guys, please let me know if you're able to scoop the pack, because I'll be a little bit jelly and then I'm stuck in this Wheel of Death. But there are certainly free ones left. And I'm going to drop a Joe Boo in the chat for anyone that does manage to get in. I hope you get the golden ticket. I'm not exactly sure what the golden ticket is, but of course, always wishing you guys the correct mojo and the correct luck. What else did we have going on over this past week? We had our Whale Fantasy Football Initiative start, and we've already had 2 winners. Shout out to Dominic W. and Crypto Right, who won our first 2 prop bet contests on Thursday and Sunday night, coming in and picking better than everyone else. I know Crypto Right was saying that he was kind of out of his wheelhouse here, and then he comes in and outdoes us all. And you still have time. If you haven't gotten in, the sheet should be up if it is not already for tonight's game, for the Monday night game. And just for a review for anyone that isn't aware or didn't catch it the first time, if you are a member of the whale community and a role holder, we have lots of gamification of sports and of different things. For the NFL season, you have 4 chances to play every single week, 1 pick'em league, and 3 prop bets for all of the night games. They are free. Your chance to win free whale if you do come in place. So for the pick'em league, that is still open as well. And if we look at the results there, it is tight. We are neck and neck with Iliscavia actually in the lead after saying that, he's not as familiar with football and doesn't watch it as frequently. And then he comes in to smash the rest of us. So I love to see that. Pineapple, Feria's in the mix. Dominic's still in there. But what really, really stands out here is 1 Cent Collector, who just realized that we're doing this a couple days ago, popped in and we were razzing him a little bit and saying, if you're going to be here, be ready for the smack talk, and said, watch when I beat all of you and pick him with 1 less game. And here he is on the precipice of actually doing that. So, Iliscavia, our hope is on you, my man, or else the entire existing community just got absolutely walloped by 1 Cent Collector. But wishing you all the best of luck. And of course, we pay out for the Pick'em League 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. So likely all the people that we talked about are in the mix and probably going to come out with some whale. What I don't see on this list is DC, who was running his mouth quite a bit, saying, hey, guys, you should have looked out for me. I'm in 1st place in 3 of my leagues. DC, did you even submit a round of picks for Pick'em? I didn't see you on the sheet. Obviously, this is just the top 13, and I'm not on there either, but at least I'm in the database of people that tried to participate. So, DC, if you're going to talk like that, we expect you to put in your picks next week. And again, super easy to do. If you miss one, no big deal. We're not doing season-ending winners. It's just go at it every week so we can, go ahead and restart. You have a rough week, you miss a week, hop right in the next one, score some whale, and enjoy the trash talk. And with that, that's what we're doing for the time being, guys. Not a lot going on, a little bit of a lull relative to what's going on for Top Shot. If you guys have something you want to chat about, throw it up in the chat. We'll try to chop it up a little bit right here. It looks like some people were not aware they could hop in whenever, and they're going to be in the next week. Guys, if you didn't hop in, definitely hop in for next week, but also you still have time to get into the prop bets for tonight. I'm seeing some avatars thrown up. By the way, guys, did you check out the stream with Encode Graphics? It looks like they're going to leave Snakebite and that voting up for a little bit, and then they're going to continue to work on that. But I found that super cool. Those POAPs were dope, and we have 3 more that hopefully we're able to get to. And I try to put them in kind of escalating levels of insanity and color and depth. And so if you missed this one, come around for the next one. I think we minted 86 of the existing POAPs. So really cool exclusive stuff. I see some shout out to people's NFL teams. We have the Raiders. I've seen the Browns. In fact, I saw Paul was handing out Mork for every score that the Browns put up. It looks like their offense isn't a problem, so he may be running out and having to tap Hackatow pretty quick there. The Ninja Turtles is saying that he is in 9 Lives Lounge and has not yet gotten access, so it's still collector score base. Interesting to see. There's a question relative to whether our Whale Vault account email received a invite for beta. I do not believe so, but I will double check with Whale Shark. We have shout outs to the Packers, to the Raiders. If you can't tell by my hometown bleeding here, I am a Patriots fan, and although we lost, I did think Mac looked promising. So I like our quarterback. It looked a little bit like deja vu. Some people are mentioning that influencers also have had access beyond having a collector score, which makes sense. But if they're doing that, I would think that possibly the launch is imminent, right? If they're going to try to build a hype cycle that way, as opposed to just looking to literally beta the product and see what some of the kinks are. I see some Dolphins fans, chirp it up. Hey, props! That was a nice game. I enjoyed it. And also, it's one of the coaches from our lineage tree that I have no issue with, and there certainly are plenty that we do. But either way, guys, it just felt good to be in the NFL season. What I did actually look um, and enjoy seeing was that our little sports collectible community, whatever we're going to call it, because ultimately I think there was suggestions within the community that we should rename this show from Hangtime to something else because we talk about stuff beyond just NBA Top Shot and basketball. And by the way, I don't have an affinity for the name. If you guys felt strongly about something, put it up to vote and pick something. We could rebrand this for sure. But what I did like is that during the game, I could come on here and there was like a lot of back and forth commiserating, chop busting. There was a lot of memes, so it was a good time to be able to pop in and be with you guys and chop it up. All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to let you guys get back to it. I have some more stuff that I'm trying to collect. I mean, do over here. We will definitely talk to each other over the course of the next day to announce winners of both the pick'em of the first week as well as the prop bets tonight. Be sure to watch during the week to get into the next week's pick'em before Thursday, and we'll be back to chop it up in about a week. Take care.